I would have beaten Trump, could have beaten Trump, and I think that Kamala could have beaten Trump, would have beaten Trump.
Don't do drugs. If you're doing it, stop it. Get some help.
All right, y'all. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, whenever you're tuning in. I'm grateful to have you here. And we got a doozy today because we got some lefties losing it back in the building. And I'll sprinkle my 2 cents throughout the video. I'll try to save most of it to the back end. But when you witness this level of stupidity on a regular basis, it's real hard to maintain your composure and not have some outbursts from time to time. Y'all know how it is, but shout out to Sky News for all these hilarious segments and just keeping us at peace in a very humoristic sort of way. I don't even know if humoristic is a word, but we're going to roll with it. Let's get it poppin'.
Now it's time for lefties losing it, and I think it's high time we checked in on the leader of the free world. Yes, him, POTUS, the man the media told you was cognitively sound and a decent and honest and competent commander-in-chief. You can now add dangerously delusional to President Joe Biden's long list of ailments.
I would have beaten Trump, could have beaten Trump, and I think that Kamala could have beaten Trump, would have beaten Trump.
Say what now? You could have beaten Trump? No amount of fortifying elections could have seen you beat Trump. And as we saw, Kamala didn't come close either. So why is the president saying that now? That's beyond me.
Dangerously delusional is spot on. That's what Rita labeled the president of the United States as, the leader of the free world. I mean, seriously, what kind of high are they puffing on in that Oval Office? You can beat Trump in anything without hijacking votes from dead folks? No, that's not reality, Joe. And as far as Kamala goes, all that ice cream that he's consuming, it must have caused some brain freeze action and prevented his ability to do basic math. Because last time I checked it, that November scoreboard, Trump whooped y'all's butts 312 to 226. He had that electoral college looking like a Verizon 5G coverage map. And I think it's high time that Jill or one of Joe's many handlers, they need to go ahead and tuck him in for nap time. He's out here wandering the streets saying all sorts of off the rocker sort of material. I mean, night, Joe. This is why we can't have you out in public sniffing on people, falling up the stairs and going off stage to Lord knows where. Ooh, sweet dreams, Joe.
Also beyond me is why he'd be uttering a sentence like this. Listen here as he speaks about the California wildfire victims losing their homes before switching to his own happy personal news.
We got this notification yesterday their home was probably burned down. Today, parents are maybe still standing, I'm not sure. But the good news is I'm a great-grandfather as of today.
Who cares?
Their homes are gone, but yay for me, I'm a great-grandfather. Everyone clap.
What type of wonky transition was that? Yeah, I'm going to act like I care for a second. I'm going to be sentimental and, shout out to the victims, everybody who's suffered, lost their livelihoods, whether you want to say they deserve it or not, God's wrath or not. Those people are struggling over there. Rich, poor, in the middle, people are struggling. And you out here talking about, on a positive note, I'm a great grandfather or whatever he said. Joe, come on, can you be more tone deaf? Goodness gracious. The lights are on, but nobody's home up top. This dude has been in Congress or in the government for 50 years lying and just stacking up millions in the bank on behalf of we the people. Imagine if all the money that this administration has printed and given to Ukraine and all these illicit, irresponsible investments or whatever they want to label them as, trans studies and all the money they've just basically burned, just pooped it away. Imagine if they would have used that to, take care of our own people, help places like North Carolina or Hawaii or California. I get that there's been a lot of dirty deeds done here behind the scenes and out in the open, a lot of speculation or conspiracy theories. Usually if you get that label, consider that a badge of honor because there's always a grain of truth to it. But Americans should always be top tier priority. A lot of these swindlers in the government, they seem to have forgot who employs them. They forget the job description is to serve we the people, help our legal citizens, and then we can discuss everybody else's problems later on. That's how it's supposed to be. And thank God in less than a week, we're giving these bozos the boot and we'll have a coherent, competent president for the first time in 4 years. Even though in reality, if we're keeping it real, if we're keeping it all the way a buck, this was basically Obama's third term, but we were forced to suffer through Joe acting like he was calling the shots and having to hear old cackles in the background, spewing off word salads every 30 seconds. But pretty soon, we're not going to have to witness any more elder abuse or wokety woke hot garbage coming from the White House. We're about to be unbidened by what has been. In the great words of Kamala Harris, unburdened by what has been, we're about to be unbidened. Hallelujah. That's going to be gooder than chicken. I cannot wait. I cannot be more ecstatic and counting my blessings than what we got coming compared to what we've had to deal with.
And if you thought that was bad, listen here as the cognitive decline and compulsive lying combine to see the president claim with a straight face that illegal border crossings came down when he became president. This is next level lefty losing at lunacy.
Look, let's get something in mind about the border. When I became president, the numbers came way down, number one. Number two, we had a circumstance where I pushed very hard for a bipartisan agreement to put more people on the border, more Secret Service agents. And guess what? He's on the phone saying, don't do it, make me look bad.
Did he just claim to have put more Secret Service agents on the border? He is cooked, folks. The truth is that the numbers exploded to record highs during his presidency. The record numbers crossed illegally after Trump had overseen a sharp reduction in illegal entries. And let's not forget this statement from Biden after Jimmy Carter's death, where he used the occasion to, you guessed it, attack Donald Trump.
TDS, next level.
To take from President Carter?
Decency.
Looks like the Joker.
Everybody deserves a shot. Everybody. Can you imagine Jimmy Carter walking by someone who needs something and just keep walking?
He always sounds like he's dropping a deuce. And could he be any more creepy? Decency. Joe, stop, please. Just quit.
Decency. Everybody deserves a shot.
This from a man who doesn't even acknowledge his own granddaughter, Hunter's love child down in Arkansas, who the Bidens to this day refuse to acknowledge, whose mother had to take legal action just to get some financial support for her. This is a man who wants to lecture us about decency. Okay, but whatever you may say about old Joe, at least he's not Kamala. Here is the Veep and wannabe president giving these words of advice to the victims of Californian wildfires.
This
And
should
so
be
it
good.
is critically important that to the extent you can find anything that gives you an ability to be patient in this extremely dangerous and unprecedented crisis, that you do.
There you go. Basically amounts to sit down and calm down as authorities fail you again.
Looking like she got a witch's brew going on. She was shaking and it seems like she ate something that didn't sit quite well. You need to go drop that off. Something's not sitting right.
Now, this time with the inauguration days away, one must not forget the lengths the leftist media went to cover up President Biden's and Vice President Harris's many deficiencies, though some of them are trying to rewrite history.
One of the things we also do in the year-end correspondence roundtable is dig into what was undercovered or underreported. Jan?
Undercovered, underreported. That would be, to me, Joe Biden's obvious cognitive decline that became undeniable in the televised debate.
Whose fault was that?
With Donald Trump.
Unquestioned. And, you know, it's starting to emerge now that his advisors kind of managed his limitations. It's been reported in the Wall Street Journal for 4 years. And yet he insisted that he could still run for president. We should have much more forcefully questioned whether he was fit for office for another 4 years, which could have led to a primary for the Democrats. It could have changed the scope of the entire election.
You guys are the ones who didn't cover it. Honestly, you had no journalistic integrity whatsoever, unlike Sky News and Rita Panahi. They actually know how to present the truth and be journalists and do their job to serve us. They're not even from here. They're in Australia and they do right by us, but that's neither here nor there. You guys are so disingenuous, so twisted, and it drives me nuts. You talked about you should have forcefully got Joe out of there. You formed a coup. You gave him the boot.
You know, it's starting to emerge now that his advisors kind of managed his limitations.
Starting to emerge now? Please. It was obvious to anyone with eyes and ears that the president could barely function. We reported it here and we were attacked for it over and over again. Let me quote Congressman Byron Donalds, who had this to say for those in the media who have now decided to discuss Biden's mental condition. They decided to discuss it when it no longer mattered. They blamed it on a stutter. They blamed it on Russian disinfo. They blamed it on cheap fakes. They hit him at every opportunity. They scripted every public event. They denied the Her report findings. They sent him on vacation for 570 days. They brazenly lied to you for years. This could be the biggest presidential cover-up in American history, and the media defended it all until they got exposed at the debate. Don't let the media gaslight you. This story existed for years, and they avoided it on purpose. Here, I couldn't have said it better myself.
How did those age? All those reasons, all those excuses, all those lies, how'd those age? How'd they play out? Not well for y'all lefties.
Every single word there is true. And one of the very worst in the media, Don Lemon, had this recent meltdown about
old Lemonhead.
MAGA. He seems to have forgotten that Donald Trump actually won the election in a landslide. He thinks it's all fallen apart for MAGA.
You dumb idiots. Now you're just figuring this out. You're so stupid and you deserve it. You deserve it because you're so dumb. Jim, it's hypocrisy. So go with me here. Yes, I am gloating over your stupidity and how you were taken. I'm cackling in Kamala. You know what they're saying about the anti-immigrant stuff, right?
Look at these people's eyes. Mr. Sugar in the tank himself, switch hipping. Come on now. Look at the eyes. They're evil and they'll get what's coming to them. You reap what you sow. You can laugh and have this evil sort of smirk and say all this craziness as though you were right and we were wrong all you want. But reality always wins. The truth always prevails, and it shall set you free. And that's what y'all need to start living in.
Who's in to say that one of the jobs you might be seeking won't be one of those white jobs?
That's why you got fired.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
You could just tell he just hates his life right now.
It can only be a matter of time before the men in white coats come and take Don away to a nice padded room. Good Lord. And here is Jim Acosta with a human potato, where they both, surprise, surprise, believe the Biden White House should be censoring free speech.
Meta has a lot of business before the U.S. government, and I think that's ultimately what this is all about.
Yeah, and he's complaining about the Biden administration, yelling at them to say, get some of this COVID misinformation off their platforms. I mean, isn't that's sort of what the White House should be doing, right?
Oh dear. Sticking with the media, here is 60 Minutes' Leslie Storm claiming the economy Trump is inheriting is great and trying again and again to get the CEO of JP Morgan Chase to criticize Donald Trump's policies.
He is inheriting a pretty good economy, despite what people feel, all these metrics that you see. But what about advice to him on some of the policies that he's threatening to do that could hurt the economy? For instance, tariffs. Have you talked to him about tariffs? If you could talk to him right now, what would you say?
I have not spoken about tariffs. I think you should read The Art of the Deal. He's a negotiator. He lays out some very tough things, and sometimes it works. We have to worry more about national security, resiliency, diversified supply chains, and we didn't. And also we should have worried more about who it hurt. Tariffs are a tool, properly used, that can help get some of those issues resolved.
Oh, she wasn't done yet. She was going to try again.
Your relationship with him? Story, we all read that you called to congratulate him and he wouldn't take the call.
No, that wasn't true.
It wasn't true?
No, it wasn't true, Leslie. You should be used to that. Remember when she claimed to President Trump's face that the Hunter Biden laptop story was Russian disinformation, that there was no evidence of Joe Biden being the recipient of financial benefits from his son's dodgy business dealings? She also claimed there was no evidence that they spied on Donald Trump's campaign. Don't forget this.
The biggest scandal was when they spied on my campaign. They spied on my campaign.
There's no real evidence of that.
Of course there is. It's all over the place. Leslie, they spied on my campaign and they got caught.
Can I say something? This is 60 Minutes, and we can't put on things we can't verify.
You won't put it on because it's bad for Biden.
We can't put on things we can't verify.
Leslie,
Did y'all see the 60 Minutes interview with Kamala Harris, with Scamala? Are you serious? They aired 2 different segments. They edited it up. But y'all are talking about your segment as though it's going to be authentic and genuine and we're going to get the full truth and nothing but the truth. Stop playing. It's all swayed. It's all propaganda. It's all completely liberal bias all the time.
To my campaign.
Well, we can't verify
It's been totally verified.
No.
And now that same journalist is upset that trust in the media is at historic lows. People do not trust these lefty activists masquerading as journalists. I'm shocked.
If you watch the opinion of us, how many people trust the press anymore? I mean, we're way down there with the lawyers.
Yeah.
This is really rough, as you know.
You're way down there with Congress.
Exactly.
Your own fault.
We're way down there with
you
Congress.
did it.
But we're way down there. And I despair. Seriously, I worry greatly. And I think there are other institutions that have been suffering. And you're right not to blame Donald Trump 100%, obviously. Started many years before. But we're at a point where if the President of the United States is going to say legacy media is dead, well, I guess Musk said that.
It is dead. That thing is crypt keeper. We don't want no part of it. That people would rather watch me and Rita and sources that actually are going to bring you authentic, real things that are going on. The truth. How about that? What journalistic integrity is all about, what the news is supposed to deliver, not pushing these activist sort of ideals and false fake ideologies, these schemes to sway people in this direction and indoctrinate and just lead people to hell. That's what they're doing. Lead people to hell in a handbasket. People are done with it. Even the naive people are done with it. You can spot straight through this BS that's going on time and time and time again. So you should be in despair because you're on your way out.
Legacy media is dead.
And he wants it dead. He wants other media.
But it is kind of, sort of hobbling right now. And I don't know how it recovers. I'm very dark about it.
Ooh, she's very dark about it. The kids call that FAFO, F-A-F-O. Google it, Leslie. What you're saying is the consequences of your actions. Here is another grown man telling vulnerable kids that powerful drugs and irreversible surgeries are perfectly safe. Everything you're about to hear is a lie, a dangerous lie. And I've got to add, this clown is a TV host.
Gender-affirming care in minors. First of all, puberty blockers. Puberty blockers are safe, and interestingly, puberty blockers are given to cisgender kids now when little girls or little boys experience precocious puberty, meaning puberty very early, around like 4, 5, 6, 7. They will be given puberty blockers to delay puberty, not prevent it, so that when they're closer to 12, 13, they can get off the puberty blockers and then puberty happens as typical. As far as long-term fertility issues, puberty blockers have no link to long-term fertility issues. And trans young people are not getting gender reassignment surgery. They're not getting top surgery. They're not getting bottom surgery until they are 17, 18, sometimes 16 for top surgery, but they have to have parental consent.
That's Queer Eye's John.
Beta, as Jesse Lee Peterson would say. These people are sick. We've talked about this time and time again. Put down the puberty blockers, the changing, the transitioning, all of that. I know YouTube hates this, but man, woman in the beginning, Adam, Eve, not Adam, Steve, not Eve and Amelia. You can't change it. I don't care how unhappy with it you are. I don't care how you feel about it. God made you perfectly how you are, sculpted you, knit you together in your mother's womb, all of us on purpose to serve that purpose. Not to change it, not to call an audible and remix what the Almighty made you as. You are what you are, and you can never be anything else. You could chop off, exchange out, swap out, treat your body like a monster pawn, but you still are what you are. I don't care how much sugar in the tank you get, how high-pitched your voice gets as a man. You reap what you sow.
Sometimes 16 for top surgery, but they have to have parental consent.
That's what you are.
That's Queer Eye's Jonathan Van Ness, another celebrity gender propagandist who can't even stick to his own nonsense. He says kids aren't getting these top surgeries and bottom surgeries except when they're, 16? That's under 18 in my book, if with parental consent, as if that makes it okay. And we're talking here about mutilating confused kids, removing healthy breasts at 16, perhaps a penis, and thinking it's justifiable. Goodness me. Now, I've saved the best for last. Have a look at these absolute simpletons, these leftist agitators who think a member of Hamas, an Islamist terror group, would be more LGBT friendly than a typical Trump supporter. Just when you think that the left can't get any more stupid, they go and surprise you.
Between these two choices, who would you say is more likely to be supportive of the LGBTQ community?
Oh, this dude.
Okay, why would you say that?
Because he's a brown person and he's not for Trump.
Do you think the fact that he's part of Hamas would stop him from supporting that community?
Not at all.
Probably number one.
Number one?
The Palestinians.
Why would you say that?
Because Trump supporters are typically anti-LGBT.
Do you think, so somebody that's a member of Hamas, would they support the LGBTQ community?
I'm not sure.
Number one? Okay, what makes you say that?
They just look kinder.
Kinda. Do you think that, somebody that's, say, a member of Hamas would be supportive of the gay community? Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah. Maybe him.
Number one?
He looks a little friendlier.
What? You people have been bamboozled. You are not aware of those guys and gals' beliefs. They don't support the LGBTQ. I mean, I oppose it as far as I know it's sin. I know it's not right, but I'm not going to do to you what those people are going to do. I'm not going to punish you for it. If you want to make your own decisions, you'll have to deal with the repercussions for it. But those people will literally drop you off a building and do stuff that I can't really share on YouTube. Explicit, evil, vile, just violence. Yeah, that's not going to have the outcome that you think it's going to have. But anyways, God bless Rita and all of Sky News for always keeping us informed on what's really going on. They're all the way over the pond, and I trust them to have more integrity and more accurate journalistic reports than most media outlets here in the U.S. More than Clown News Network, MSDNC, all bullcrap, ABC. I look to Fox quite a bit, but I know Fox has its quirks as well. But keep praying for all of the news outlets to find a way to stay based and to get based and get truthful in their reporting as time goes on. But I'll end on that note. I know I've ranted long enough already. Some of y'all are sick and tired of me pausing and talking and interjecting. But again, that's just how we roll over here. If you don't like it, don't click on videos that have my face on it. For those of you that do, I appreciate you. Let me know what you think down below in the comments section, and let's keep the conversation rolling. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you're not already, ring that notification bell so you get notified anytime I post a new video. If you like what I'm doing over here and you want to show a little extra love and support, make sure you go check out our website down below in the description section. That way you can get all the awesome shirts and hoodies you see me wearing in every single video, as well as some pretty sweet tumblers and cups. They're all made by my smoking hot wife with tons of different designs to choose from. I like my clothes baggy in the winter, so you got a little extra room to move and groove. That's just what feels gooder than chicken to me. But we got all different sizes ranging from itty bitty extra small to big and hefty 5X, a bunch of colors. I guarantee we got something that you'll like, or at least a great gift for someone that you love. Outside of that, you can always show support by buying me a coffee, joining the Patreon community. You can become a member of the Gibson family here on YouTube by tapping that join button. All those links are always down below in the description section. By no means do you have to do any of that. Just showing up and watching my freckle face on your screens for a few minutes, I am greatly appreciative. I love y'all, and I cannot thank you enough for rocking with me throughout the years. I think I posted my first video on this channel 7-8 years ago, and you have literally changed my life, my family's life for the better. I just can't put into context how grateful I am for y'all. And I know we get into some tangents and some long rants sometimes, and I get fired up. That's how I like it, and that's how y'all seem to like it as well. But just thank you from the bottom of my heart. But until next time, I'll be praying for you. Godspeed. I'm gone.